Hey gang, Ozman here. Something noteworthy happened to me in a game last week. Not only was I catapulted across the map randomly, thanks dice, I actually managed to get the final mastery tag for the last of the primary weapons in the game. So I now have mastery tags with every primary weapon in Battlefield 3. And that coincided with me passing 800 hours of time on Battlefield 3 since it came out. And so, rather than trying to do some sort of great big montage to say goodbye, I thought what I'd do instead is just show you guys a few stats and have a bit of a chat about BF3 and how I've found the last 800 hours. So here we can see the basic stats in Battlelog, my 803 hours, the Colonel 100. I have an even spread of service stars across all the ranks. I try to play all the classes. And my score per minute, accuracy, KD ratio, win-loss, they're pretty average. If we have a look at my stats down, the more detailed stats, you can see my skill's actually pretty high. It's a stat I try and look after, just because it's hard to maintain that stat. It's a rather esoteric one. If we have a look at the weapons, you can see obviously my beloved AEK on top by a long way, my SPAS, SG553, but if we scroll down we see, as I said, I've got at least 500 kills with every primary weapon in the game. Also got 500 kills with 2 pistols. I wasn't trying for those actively, they're just the pistols I like the most. And I'm quite pleased I was able to get those mastery tags with all of the primary weapons. And no, I'm not going to try with the pistols, and I'm not going to try with the gadgets. Or the expos. I even managed to get medals with the mortar and the claymore. Not many people could be bothered doing that. Just goes to show what a hopeless completionist I am. Let's look at the vehicles. Now, as if everyone who's played with me knows, I am someone whose feet are firmly on the ground, so lots of time in the tanks, lots of time in the infantry fighting vehicles, a bit of time as a gunner in the helicopters. If we go down, you see I spent very little time in the anti-air, or the helis, or the gunship, and look at that, 1 hour total in the flanker. Spent more time in buggies and dirt bikes than I did in the Super Hornet, or the Frogfoot for that matter, 4 minutes. The A10, 6 minutes. And the F-35, the grand total of 17 seconds. Yeah, those of you who know me know I am not a jet pilot. The only reason I spent that much time in the flanker is because of air superiority when that came out in Endgame. Awards, a bit of a completionist there, yeah, but not going crazy. Didn't desperately try and get all the medals, that would have been a bit beyond me. And again, assignments, almost all the assignments. No, I wasn't interested in using the EOD bot, and the chopper and the jet, not for me. Nearly got my Rambo. Just needed one more multi-kill. I suppose if I really tried I could get that, but yeah, I don't really care that much. I got almost all of the assignments. Now with all those mastery tags, you can imagine I've unlocked an awful lot of dog tags in my time. I think the one's probably most proud of, obviously, the Colonel 100 and the dedicated soldier one, the one that you have to get kills with all the weapons classes. Of course, interestingly, by the time that DLC had come out, I'd already got 100 kills with every weapon in the game, every primary, and every pistol in the game, so to have to go back and get some more to get that dog tag seemed a bit ironic. Now on BF3 stats now, and some slightly more detailed statistics, again showing pretty high skill. I think it's at top 3% for skill, top 1% for finished rounds. And yes, I finished the games that I started. Weapons, top 8% for the AEK. That's unusual, to be honest. Lots of people use the AEK. SG553, pretty high up there as well. I just happen to like that one. And you can see 100% of the unlocks and at least 5 service stars with all the primaries. Dog tags taken, dog tags lost. See a few key names on here. John, Firefly, Static, Sambo, all these boys who've taken my tags. There's Daggles. I've taken 3 different dog tags from him over the last 800 hours. And here's the fun stuff. So most of you will be unaware, but as part of my job I do data analysis. So when I saw BF3 stats and I saw the ability to pull up running histories of your statistics, I was over the moon. So I'll pull a few stats up and it'll tell a bit of a tale about my time on BF3. you can see that it actually only goes back to about 135 hours. From 135 to my 800, so it hasn't got my absolute history. But the key thing to see, I think, in this one is that I do start from a pretty low base, and I improve solidly. You'll see a couple of jumps, usually in the score per minute, that's double XP, things like that. But it tells my story on Battlefield well. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly naturally gifted. There are other players I play with who just seem to have a more natural aptitude for FPS games. I just work solidly away over 800 hours, and grinding, getting better. You can see my skill and my accuracy going up 9%, 12%, 13%. So starting from a pretty low base, it's not like I just jumped in and was naturally good at this game. It also explains, if I'd reset my stats, I think my stats on Battlelog would be more impressive, because I could snip off that tail. If you look at these most recent games, you look at my KDR, my accuracy, things like that, my score per minute, you can see they're much, much higher than my average over the 800 hours. Just because I'm better at the game after, 800 hours of hard work and knowing where people come and what height to aim my weapons at to get headshots, where people flow through maps, how the different weapons work. So that just comes from experience. So what I like there is the upward trend, a constant upward trend. As I worked at this game, I got better and better. That's what I like to see. So if you look at my stats on PC, they're starting from a higher baseline than I did when I started on Xbox, and that's got to do with the experience I've got from all of my Xbox play. Whilst my skills with the mouse and keyboard are not as great as they are with the controller to start with, I've got so much knowledge of where people flow, what routes people take, where to aim, just lots of Battlefield knowledge that I can use to make up for some of the skill deficit. So whilst I'm no gun on PC by any stretch of the imagination, my starting stats much higher than my starting stats on Xbox were. Anyway gang, enough rabbiting on about numbers. Hope some of you found this vaguely interesting. I'm not going to be putting out too many more videos on BF3. I'm going to New York for 3 weeks pretty soon. I'll be playing in the Battlefield 4 Beta, and I've got all of this to deal with. So that is going to be taking up quite a bit of my time, so I will not be putting out too many more videos until BF4 comes out. But I'll see what I can do to keep an eye on the channel. I hope you enjoyed indulging my walk down memory lane there. Take it easy. Cheers.